On January 4th, 2023, Teresa Marchese returned to work after New Year's home. When she returned to her office in Washington, D.C. that morning, she was alerted that one of her coworkers' husbands was trying to find her coworker. The coworker was Ana Walshe, and her husband is Brian Walshe. And she spoke to her boss, Jeff Chubb, and the two of them went into a conference room and called Brian Walshe. Brian was calm, and he said that on January 1st, Ana left their Cohasset home for a work emergency and had to fly back to Washington, D.C. And he hasn't spoken to her since then. You'll also have access to financial records that will show that Ana Walshe had approximately $200,000 in accounts at Fidelity, and that there was over $1 million in life insurance in Ana Walshe, and that Brian Walshe was the beneficiary of those policies. And on December 27th, a MacBook that used the Apple ID for Brian Walshe, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, researched best strategies to divorce for a man. Rupert Guarino will also explain to you the internet history of that MacBook that had Brian Walshe's Apple ID, beginning on January 1st. At 4:54 a.m., the MacBook searched best way to dispose of a body.
Brian Walshe, beginning about 4:54 a.m., began a frantic and tragic search. You will hear evidence that those searches evolved from how best to dispose a body to even darker subject matter. As he wrestled with the fact that Ana Walshe was dead. On January 1st of 2023, Jim Mutlow left the family home of Brian and Ana Walshe sometime between 1 and 1:30 in the morning. He went upstairs to the bedroom. About an hour later, you'll hear evidence that Mr. Walshe got up, went back downstairs to clean the kitchen. You'll hear evidence that he then returned to the bedroom, intending nothing more than to crawl into bed with Ana Walshe, the woman he loved. When he entered the bedroom and began to get into the bed, he sensed something was wrong. You will hear evidence that it made no sense to him. But he nudged Ana, his wife. She didn't respond. He nudged her again, a little harder. She didn't respond. He nudged her now in a frantic and panic reaction to where she actually rolled off. It didn't make sense that somebody that he had just been with and enjoyed New Year's Eve into New Year's Day would suddenly be dead. You will hear evidence in this case of sudden, unexplained death. Brian Walshe never killed him.